FurryMC.net is a public Minecraft server that serves as a safe space for furry and LGBTQ Minecrafters. On the surface, it has a casual atmosphere with a tight-knit community and wonderful builds. I myself have played here for many years, and was even invited to moderate for them for a few years. While this may seem great at first, a deeper look into what goes on within the management of this server reveals a very different story. Rampant staff corruption and bias, censorship, dangerous people being led on staff, complete mismanagement of serious situations, and an utter lack of transparency from the higher ranks of staff. Recently, all the controversy within FurryMC has come to a boiling point, leading to me and several other longtime staff members resigning. We tried our best to change how the server was run, but the rest of the staff haven't listened, and the server is on track to get worse going forward. So we're coming forward with this inside information and evidence to shine a light on what's been happening on FMC, and what can be done about it. Quick preface before we get into the main video: this video goes over themes and events which can be very uncomfortable to hear about. If you're sensitive to heavy topics, including but not limited to zoophilia, pedophilia, racism, and suicide, please click away. Also, please do not take this as a sign to go and harass anyone on FMC or FMC staff. Most people who play on FurryMC don't even know what's happening because we're not allowed to talk about this on the server, and quite frankly, we've tried to get through to the staff for years and it hasn't worked. The best thing you can do is just spread the word and avoid or don't support FMC under any circumstances. One last thing, any usernames directly mentioned in this video are either people we are aiming to expose or people we have explicit permission from to include them in this video. All other people have been left anonymous. On July 2nd, 2024, two longtime server members joined the FMC staff team, Calaifur and one of her partners, CherriMC. While both had been on staff team before, it had been a while, and they had reportedly previously resigned from not being able to properly keep up with their helper positions. They both were decently involved within the FMC community, but mainly kept to their own social circle, running a dedicated hangout server separate from FMC's Discord with Callie's other partner at the time, Felix Buns. For a couple of months, it looked like nothing of note was going on to most people on FMC, but some information would be brought forward that became the catalyst for a major disagreement within the FMC staff team. On September 17th, 2024, FMC was alerted to some alarming information regarding both Callie and Cherry. Captain Waffles, another longtime player of FMC, gave her story of her experience with Callie and Cherry, along with over a dozen screenshots to back it up. For several months, both Callie and Cherry had been slowly getting closer with Waffles, manipulating and coercing her into an attempt to make her part of their polycule. By the way, Callie and Cherry were talking to each other before Cherry turned 18, meaning Cherry was effectively groomed into this polycule as a minor. While Captain Waffles thankfully didn't become part of the polycule, she did gain access to information that Callie and Cherry didn't seem to want others to see. That dedicated hangout server they ran with Felix, as it turned out, had not just one NSFW channel, but several channels, with varying levels of access for specific roles. The most accessible NSFW channel was accessible to anyone, for the record. A minor could have easily gotten access to that channel and seen what was in there, which is already messed up. But even worse is what was in not just the channel, but especially the more private channels. As some of the screenshots Captain Waffles presented clearly show, both Callie and Cherry were posting NSFW art of underage characters, including but not limited to Tails, Amy Rose, and Blaze the Cat from Sonic the Hedgehog, Susie from Deltarune, and Lily from Pokemon Sun and Moon. The rest of the screenshots presented by Waffles show her confronting Callie and Cherry, repeatedly posting such vile content. Callie not only defends herself, but doubles down on her reasoning, stating that, and I kid you not, a character can't be off limits to art or anything else forever just because the franchise doesn't want to make them actually age. Not only were both her and Cherry posting these things, but Cherry even posted NSFW of underage characters again after this argument, specifically telling Captain Waffles to not click it. This clearly demonstrates that both of them knew very well that the characters in the art they were posting are underaged. Following the submission of this evidence, the FMC staff team decided to do what they do best: nothing. Initially, Callie was banned within 24 hours of the evidence being submitted, which would have been a great step in the right direction if it had ended in that. However, after another day of internal squabbling, Neo, the server owner, decided to set up an internal poll within the staff channels on whether to unban her. Let me reiterate that, after seeing all of the horrible things Callie and Cherry were posting, they left her ban, and by the extension the safety of not only Captain Waffles but the entire FMC community, up to a Discord poll. Only 4 people on the FMC staff voted to keep her banned. It's also good to note that all but one of those 4 people are the ones who recently quit and are helping make this video. FMC staff, of course, gave no official reasoning for the unbanning, but internally there were arguments that Tales from Sonic has no definite age, or even reports that they found a source that Tails, the clearly childlike character, is actually 44 years old? In case you were wondering, Tails is 8 years old, although in earlier media he was also represented as being 3 or 12 years old. Notice how none of those ages are above 18. FMC staff also paid no attention to the underage characters other than Tails, which is interesting. A few days later, Felix submitted even more evidence regarding Callie. This evidence, which was years old at the time, showed Callie admitting to engaging in real-life bestiality. Mind you that Felix had known Callie had done this for years at this point, and still stayed with her. Regardless, this information was enough to ban Calaifur once again. Please take a moment to let it sink in that being a pedophile wasn't enough to ban Callie until it was proven that she had done a real-life crime. The official announcement of her ban made no mention of the NSFW images or anything Captain Waffles had reported. During the time in which Callie was unbanned, she rejoined FMC when Waffles happened to be online, which predictably was very traumatic for her. That moment didn't need to happen, and it wouldn't have happened if FMC staff had come to the sensible decision and stuck with it sooner. You may now be wondering, what about Cherry? She was posting NSFW art of underage characters too, right? Well, FMC staff decided that they weren't even going to acknowledge that she had been reported for doing that. Cherry wasn't banned or even demoted from her staff position. See, a few days after Callie was reported, Cherry threatened to commit suicide if she received any punishment. She also DM'd Captain Waffles with the same threat, which resulted in yet another highly traumatic experience of her having to talk Cherry out of doing it. Once again, this experience could have been prevented. If FMC staff had removed Cherry from staff and banned her shortly after the report, Waffles would have been able to block her before that would have ever happened. Every hour counts when it comes to high-stress situations such as this one. The fact that FMC is so slow to make a decision is actively hurting their community, particularly those that are affected by these situations. Because of FMC staff's incompetence, Captain Waffles has been put through way more trauma than she needed to be. FMC staff couldn't have stopped anything Callie and Cherry did before they were reported, but they had many opportunities to resolve the situation quickly, and they didn't take any of them. To this day, Cherry is still not banned from FMC. She's still able to come right back online and do the same thing to any other server member. On December 7th, 2024, NordFolf joined the staff team as a builder and promoted to helper in June 26, 2025. In just little over a year, they've successfully broken several of FMC's rules and gotten away with it. You may be asking to yourself why this is, and I'll tell you in 2 short words: staff bias. You see, Nord is, at the time of this video, dating Kiro, also known as Tuos. At the time, Kiro had been a trainee and recently promoted to a helper. It didn't take long before the first time Nord said the R slur. It was in the call, so unfortunately it is not documented. For some background, Nord is from Hungary. For some reason, the European staff members believe that Europeans can get away with saying slurs due to them not being American. Not sure why they think they're exempt from slurs. Pika explained to Nord that it was not okay to say that and was promised it wouldn't happen again. Spoiler alert, it happened again. 3 more times. The final time Nord was caught saying the R slur, September 14th, 2025, it was through text and is documented. They claimed they were quoting something, however, it was still told to them multiple times that it was not okay to say in any context. When expressing their concerns to the server owner Neo, Pika was simply told, "I just got word Nord is planning on leaving staff," instead of handling the situation. Nord continued to be on staff after that. On November 3rd, 2025, Pika received a message from a minor I'll be keeping anonymous. They came to Pika about Nord's public NSFW account, where Nord posted pictures of their genitalia. The reason they went to Pika was because the minor had already gone to Neo and Kiro about it, and nothing had been done. The face of Nord's NSFW account is the same as their SFW account, meaning minors on FMC could stumble across it at any point and know which FMC staff member it is. Those who are in charge of a community full of kids as young as 13 should know better than to expose themselves publicly like that. Kids will and do find these things. When given this information, Pika went to Neo about it, concerned about the safety of minors on the server. Neo sent a screenshot asking Nord to make it private back in October when it was originally reported to Neo. Nord then went on to disagree, privating his NSFW Twitter account and blamed the minor for finding it instead. At this point, Kiro was a longtime admin on FMC staff team. Over and over, Kiro would defend Nord's actions and assure those concerned that it would not happen again. It kept being said over and over, it is now in their staff rules that slurs will not be allowed at all, despite the fact that that was always a rule. Yet Nord, at the time of this video, is still on FMC's staff team, despite saying the slur 4 times and having little concern about minors seeing Nord's genitalia. This is all because there is a bias amongst the staff team for Nord. They're all friends and have a hard time setting aside their friendship to punish properly. Kalka joined the staff team and quickly worked his way up to technician within 2 weeks. He is very knowledgeable on servers, so it was a no-brainer to the staff to quickly get him to work on improving FMC. On a technical standpoint, he's done just that. He was able to update FMC to 1.21.4 before most other servers, for example. On July 25th, 2025, an anonymous Discord user reached out to several FMC staff members with a link to Imgur. Pika was the first staff member to notice the message and immediately messaged the other admins. Another moderator, who will keep anonymous, was also DM'd about the evidence. Instead of going to the admins, this moderator DM'd Kalka and asked them about it all. This informed Kalka before a proper investigation could be done, which also jeopardized potential evidence. The admins got to work searching up various usernames Kalka has gone by over the years. It was pretty hard to find anything. In fact, there was hardly any presence of Kalka online at all. Over the next few days, the admins and Pika talked about the plan, potentially reaching out to Link, the name the admins gave the person who reported Kalka. When that didn't work, it was decided to come up with some interview questions. The admins spent some time here and there over the next 5 days trying to come up with evidence, but that entire time Kalka also knew something was wrong. It wasn't until July 30th, 2025 that the admins got together and interviewed Kalka. There are several points in the interview that stand out. Kalka claims to have talked with Link before, but doesn't seem to remember why they had a falling out.
I would like to know, what was the falling out? Like, what did you say that made him block you?
I have no clue. To be honest with you, I really don't know what could have made him, freak out.
Kalka claims there are several victims of Link, yet refuses to allow the admins to communicate with them and hear their stories about Link.
Is there any way of, just for evidence side of things, is there any way that you can get evidence of what others have said, or is there a moderation thing with WoW for the servers that we can reach out to for getting evidence for that?
No, they won't give you anything.
Another side thing, you said that they've done this to other people. Is there any evidence or screenshots or anything what he's done for you? Is there any way of getting anything like that so then we can have a reference that he has done this to other people? Or at least, if you can get it, screenshots of the conversations you've had with other people and them saying he has done it to other people, that'd be good.
Okay. Well, I I honestly don't think I have anything like that. I would probably have to like go out of my way to start asking people, which
Mhm.
like I don't think I want to do that right now because I'm just mentally exhausted, you know? And
Mhm.
I like the last thing I want to do is like remind myself that this like person exists.
I was gonna ask, what was the username or the username you last remember? Other person.
Oh, you mean Hokshi?
How is that spelled?
Hokshi.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. This person I'm on like good terms with. I suppose. But he was in a similar situation. Actually, he was a victim of this same person.
Okay.
He's basically a victim of the person that's also stalking me.
Alright.
Yeah. And
So you're on good terms with them.
yeah.
Is there any way you would get confirmation from them that they're also just help back your
Sure. I mean,
want to help?
well,
Or if you don't want
Yeah,
to,
no.
if you could give us their username and we can do it.
Well, I mean, I suppose like if they're awake, I can message them. I imagine they're not going to be like very comfortable. I mean, especially like when it's like a random, people or whatever, just messaging them being like, "Hey, whatever, do you know about this thing or whatever?"
Yeah, that's totally understandable.
Yeah, but so I guess I can give him a heads up, just like kind of for the transparency, because I don't want to act like I'm like someone who is like I understand that you guys want to sort of have the evidence speak for itself and not just have like have my words as the only thing,
Yeah.
and that's why I'm just willing to help in any way I can, of course, as well.
You had any past Oski or however you pronounce about
Hokshi, yeah.
Yeah, have you had any like in text conversations with them asked about talking you? Even just a screenshot of one not sure that all right.
Yeah, so I actually did try and see if I spoke about it on Discord, but I don't think I did. I think I might have been voice chatting with them because we mostly voice chatted when we played WoW, and most of our conversations were kind of like just like asking each other like when we were available to do stuff in the game, I think.
Yeah.
From what I remember. But I can message him and just be like, "Hey, like don't be bothered if like," or maybe it should just be like, "Hey, would you be okay with like someone adding you on Discord and asking you about like Dakota or whatever?"
Yep. If you could also
because he'll, I mean, he'll mention that it was like, he was role playing in the game, something to that effect, and like, he was being harassed because, just the person in general was just unhinged. That's the only thing I can say about it, I think. But
when you message them, could you just send us a screenshot of you DMing them if they're willing to talk to us?
Yeah,
so we have that too.
That and just like their full
mind.
Discord username, just so there's a lot of people by the name.
Oh yeah, I think well, I should have. Well, I think that's their username on Discord as well. Let me double check that. Where is? Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, it's also their username on Discord. Yeah, just exactly how I typed it. But hang on.
Yeah, if we're able to have a conversation with them, or if you're able to have a conversation with them about Link and just any form of screenshot evidence showing that they.
Yeah.
Kalka doesn't deny the F-list sent by Link was his until an hour and 22 minutes into the interview.
Like, do you guys genuinely think that F-list is mine?
We're asking you.
It's not.
He even says, any fetishes I have stay within roleplay towards the end of the interview.
Like, any type of, like, fetish that I do have, obviously, like, stays within roleplay. things like that, you know?
To hear the full interview, you can find a link in the description of this video. It used to be an unlisted video provided by Kiro, but he privated it for some reason. Thankfully, we managed to yoink it for the good of truth and justice. After the interview, it took the admins another 5 days, August 5th, 2025, to finally come to a decision on Kalka. A vote was made 5-1 to bring Kalka back. Aside from that, there were a couple other things floating around that were found to help support the evidence Link provided, such as a few things Kalka said in the staff general chat on FMC and a screenshot found on their Steam page. Kalka was not removed from staff, but it gets worse. A user on FMC was banned in late August for having NSFW feral art on their Twitter account. It was brought up to the admins first by Pika after stumbling across it by accident. Eventually, Kalka came into the conversation about the person being investigated and said the things you'll see now, defending the anatomically correct animal genitalia. This coincides with their initial allegations, as well as a screenshot of their character in League of Legends. Of course, it gets worse. Remember that Nord genitalia drama? Well, another server member opened a support ticket on the Discord to alert staff of that situation. During the discussion, Kalka gave their very honest and telling opinion on fetishes. According to Kalka, being a furry by definition is a fetish. And this man is in charge of a 13+ group advertising specifically to furries. And to get worse, he then accused Pika of engaging in fetish behavior for wearing a collar when they were 13. Keep this man away from the kids. This is somewhat breaking news. On Thursday, December 18th, 2025, the leftover staff in FurryMC.net unbanned a particular player. This player was banned because they were being groomed by Stardy Racer, a creep in the furry community. The FMC player was groomed into wearing diapers and joining their play family on VR chat. FMC staff had agreed to ban them when they were inviting other FMC players to join Stardy. It was believed that this ban was agreed on by most staff members. I genuinely cannot think of a good faith interpretation as to why current FMC staff would walk back on that ban other than they just love protecting groomers and pedophiles. Orangecat is a friend of longtime FMC admin Zen, or Furry IRL. When Orange applied to staff, he wasted no time getting to work on FMC. His technician skills are no doubt good, but when it comes to his background, that's where things get a little cloudy. On December 8th, 2024, after months of mentioning it casually in Staff General, the staff finally took the discussion of a user called Casey Snep seriously. It's K-Ball, former moderator and helper on FMC, reported to the staff many times, possibly as early as July 2024, that Casey had been using the N-word and hard R slurs in a server outside of FMC. This server also had other members of FMC on it, which was a leading reason, besides it being racist, that it was a concern. During the conversation in Staff General, Orangecat jumped into the conversation and began defending Casey from being banned. Orange argued that the use of the N-word or hard R wasn't racist and that it was instead edgy. For once, most of the staff seemed to be in agreement. What Orangecat was saying was not okay. He continued to escalate the argument by stating, "I should be banned too, I used to be an edgy fuck that used the word constantly, unfortunately." Later on, continuing not to take accountability, he says, "I don't think I need to apologize for anything. I never defended using that word. I fully understand it's wrong. Unfortunately, my past self did not." While it is correct he never said anything directly defending it, such as it's okay to use that word, by not wanting to ban the user who said those words is kinda defending its usage in a way. And I'll be real here. I grew up in the 90s and early 2000s where everyone was homophobic, racist, borderline pedophilic, and openly used slurs like the R slur and the N slur, often on basic cable television. I used to be guilty of some of that behavior in my teens and even early adulthood. I later took the effort to unlearn those behaviors because I didn't want to be like that anymore. I believe you can grow into whoever you want to be regardless of your past. So it's just insane to me that someone can use their past experience to excuse that type of behavior instead of encouraging them to be better. In a rare move, FMC staff did something and demoted Orangecat. Following the demotion, Felix Buns and Neo both told K-Ball that Orangecat would be reaching out and apologizing. K-Ball did end up getting an apology from Orange, but seemingly only after Neo had asked him to. Orangecat didn't play on FMC for around a year after his demotion. However, after the big staff leaving of the end of November 2025, Orangecat was suddenly brought back on staff as a technician. No trainee or helper period, just straight into one of the highest positions of power on FMC. This last subject is relatively small compared to what we just went over, but it's been something present in FurryMC for longer than I've been there. And it has to do with content from a fetish game displayed in-game. Changed is an NSFW game on Steam that focuses around the fetishes of forced transformation and full body latex. One player had made several map arts from the game. The cute art style and the in-game sprites make it very appealing to many younger players. When brought up in staff multiple times, nothing would ever be done about it. Even the player who created these map arts had said herself that she is fine with them going away. To this day, nothing's been done about it. I had been on staff team for years before leaving. We tried to get rid of these creeps many times, but we were often outvoted by the other staff members. Even Kiro doesn't want Kalka on staff, yet they are both still on board to this day. Any attempts to mention this in the server will get you banned. I never made any mention of it on the server after quitting staff, and they still gave me a permanent ban, despite me having been one of the top supporters through Playtime and Planet Minecraft votes. They argue that we are spreading disinformation, despite all the screenshots we've shown you. So what can we do to protect the kids on their server who have no idea about this? The first step is watching and sharing this video. I thank you greatly for sitting through this long. If you can share this video to any of your friends whom you think are at risk of FurryMC staff, it may save them exposure to a lot of trauma. I've said it before, but it bears repeating. Do not go and harass the FMC staff or what's left of their community. Any griefing attempts will just get rolled back. They'll quickly ban you and you'll just look like another troll doing so. Instead, I ask you to troll in my comment section. If you agree, tell me so. If you disagree, tell me why. But my comment section of this video is an open ground for all discussion on this subject. It's in everyone's best interest if you simply do not interact with the FurryMC server or community at all. Instead, I've made a new server for 13+ LGBTQ furries. One difference between us is our server will allow you to speak freely of previously banned players. This is a rule that pretty much only exists on FMC and seems to protect creeps and predators more than it protects from drama. Furthermore, rather than being ruled by a popular vote from a revolving door of staff members, I have decided to take role as owner who will have final say over all decisions. This is something Neo never had the courage to do, as he continues to endanger minors with his cowardice. I look forward to working to keep you safe as you play Minecraft with your silly little friends.